Hey everyone, it is Tina Forsyth here of OnlineBusinessManager.com, and I have with me today Lena West, one side or the other. I'm not sure which way you'll show up on the video here. Lena is the founder, the creator of the Authentic Influencer social media marketing program. It's actually a 9-step process, a 9-step program. And the reason why I asked Lena to be here with me today and what we're doing in this video series, today being video number 1, we're here to bust some social media myths. You know, I've worked online for a long time. I've worked online for over 10 years now. And there is nothing, in my opinion, more confusing in this big wide world of online business than social media. You know, we know it's important, we know it's essential, but at the same time, there's just so many things, there's so many questions and myths and all kinds of stuff that float around out there. And Lena, you and I have known each other for quite a while.
I know. I can't believe it. It's unreal.
It's like 5 or 6 years at least, which is a lifetime in the virtual world, right?
Totally.
But there's nobody I can think of who I'd rather have this conversation with and who I know is going to give us the real deal answers, you know, maybe even give us a bit of a social media smackdown if need be. Woohoo! Watch out. Watch out. Myth number 1 that we're going to talk about here today is, you know, I think most of us get the fact that social media is important these days. When it comes to building a business, there needs to be some kind of social media strategy. But a common myth I see out there is just, okay, just get a Twitter account, just get a Facebook page or a Facebook whatever, get on LinkedIn, boom, you're done. That's all you need to do. It's like, just get started. And that's all you need to do. Right. And yet, what does that give someone, right?
Probably, you know, that and what, $2-3 would get you on the subway in Manhattan. The bottom line is, so many times people come to me and they say, you know, well, I'm on Twitter, I'm just not getting results, or I'm using Facebook, I'm just not getting results. Mm-hmm. And if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. It's so important that you know why you're doing these things. Mm-hmm. What's the end game? What's the objective? And are you doing the things on Facebook, on Twitter, that will get you to the end objectives? Because everything that you do on Facebook isn't the same. Everything that you do on Twitter, there are 90 different things you can do on Twitter. There are 100 different things you can do on Facebook. What are you doing, and are the activities that you are doing on those platforms, are they leading you to the end goal? And you have to ask yourself that. And it's like, what's the saying? You kind of throw things against the wall and you see what sticks.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's what people are doing nowadays. They're just throwing things against the wall. They see what sticks, and then that may or may not be the thing to get them the result that they've said they wanted. And so, you know, by that time they say, well, social media doesn't work. Well, of course it doesn't work, because you're not using it how you need to use it.
And I think that why, you know, it's just, I myself have done this, right? You know, actually, quite honestly, I've done this for a number of years. And that's been part of what's led to all this confusion for me, too, is that, you know, I have a Twitter account, I have Facebook, I have a bit of this, I have a bit of that, but never really until you and I talked recently, because Lena gave me my own personal smackdown about a month ago. But until we really talked about this and worked through that strategic side of things, it's kind of like, what do you want to accomplish with social media? Because it's really, you can be out there, you can be tweeting, you can be connecting, you can be doing whatever, but from a business building perspective, you know, right, is it going to get you the results you want? And what results do you even want in the first place, too, right? You know, the strategic piece seems to be missing for so many people.
You know, anybody who's ever heard me speak or read anything that I've ever written, people know that one of the things that I am extremely focused on, and a lot of people say, well, Lena, this is exactly why I like to work with you. I like to get results. Mm-hmm. I like to be and work with clients and work on projects. I like to be a part of success. And so I don't do the, you know, catch as catch can. I really sit down, and I actually just did this yesterday. I did an entire day-long in-person VIP session with one of my clients in Manhattan, and we sat down and we looked at, okay, what is it that you're trying to do? How are you going to make this a priority? What is your content? What do you have to share? What do you want to share, and what do you want people to pay for? So making that clear line of demarcation. Who are your influencers and how you are going to engage them? Because, you know, let's say, for those of you who are listening, let's say I'm someone you want to get to know and Tina is someone that you want to get to know. You're not going to treat Tina like me, and you're not going to treat me like Tina. So how are you going to engage each influencer individually? this all takes like some time and forethought. Like it's not just about having a Twitter account.
And I think that's part of it too, right? Is that it's not a quick fix, wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of strategy. And, you know, I don't know of any business building strategy that is really, but there is part of that that ties into this myth, I think, in the social media world is like you said, I've heard the same questions or the same comments from people. It's like, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all day, every day. Why aren't I getting clients? It's like just being in the room doesn't mean you're you're going to get there, right? It's like, what's the purpose? What's the strategy behind this? And getting really, really clear. And you guys, as anyone who's watching, of course, as an online business manager or any type of virtual support professional, this is something we need to be really clear on behalf of our clients, you guys, on behalf of our clients, because especially when you are working at that level with your clients, when you're working as an online business manager, they are going to turn to you. Your clients are going to turn to you and say, okay, we got to figure out this social media thing, or we're doing this and that, it's not working. What's going on? What's not going on? What do we need to do? They are going to put that on your plate. I've done that to my own OBM.
Yep.
You know, every OBM I know and everybody I work with has had this come to them, right? So I believe when we are stepping into our clients' businesses at this level, we need to be clear. We need to be clear ourselves on how to know why it's important, what is the strategy here, what's the bigger picture strategy, because I think especially in the world of social media, you know, what works for me is going to be different than what works for Lena. It's going to be different than what works for Bob or Sue or Mary or whoever around us. And there's simply way, way, way too many options, tools, variables, and such out there these days to just go into it willy-nilly. I mean, that is such a recipe for ultimately wasting time and effort, you know.
Well, I also, too, you know, from an OBM virtual support professional standpoint, you know, you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to be able to bring that skill set to your clients, but also you've got to be able to do it right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so it's not just being able to set up a Twitter account. You've got to be able to deliver success to their doorstep.
Yes.
And so it's not just about setting up an account. It's about, okay, what is going to help this client move the needle in their business and grow their business? And to the extent that you can be associated with that, you won't ever have to worry about clients again. Mm-hmm. But if you're just focusing on setting up accounts and maybe just setting up a Facebook fan page, but then, you know, if you build it, they won't come. How do you then turn that Facebook account? How do you then turn that Facebook page? How do you then turn that Twitter account into success, marketing success for your client? That's where the rubber meets the road.
And that's, you know, that really is the heart of the OBM role, in my opinion, too, you know, from a bigger picture perspective. We are there to support and help grow someone's business in various ways. And this piece of it, too, knowing what social media is and the myth and everything here, as just from the perspective of I love that you said, build it and they will come. That whole field of dreams thing, right? It doesn't work that way. I think most of us have come to see and realize that this way over the years. And we know it's time for strategy, you know. So the answer, you guys, to this first myth of just get started, just set up these accounts, just start doing something. It's not the answer. It's not the answer. You need to step back. You need to be strategic. This is actually part of the first couple of steps of the authentic influencer system that Lena's created, right? Is that you need to be able to work through in a very purposeful way, in a way that you know is going to work and get results as to what this strategy is. Then you're going to want to start to implement it. Then you're going to want to put those things into place, right? Otherwise, it's just a waste of time and energy and headache all around.
It is a total waste of time and energy. And you know what? When you have clients who are paying you to get a result, you can't afford to waste their time. Mm-hmm. It just, and you know what? It won't be tolerated either.
No. It can backfire on you if you're not really purposeful and strategic and you know, approaching this from the right perspective. It can really, you know, ultimately harm the, you know, client relationships, and could even backfire in some ways too, right?
Well, I mean, think of it like this too, right? So if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to go to a city and you've never been there before, but you'd like to visit if you're interested in that city. Do you just get in your car and like start driving in the general direction of that city? Like maybe you'll get there next month, maybe.
Yeah.
No, you know, either you plug it into your GPS system, you get the exact address of the place, you plug it into your GPS, or you go to Google Maps, you print out some sort of directions. You get your game plan together, and it's the same thing with social media. So you may be able to get in your social media car and just drive, but where the heck are you going? Like, where are you going to stop?
So you guys, we are going to be continuing this journey here within our future videos. And of course, for anyone who's interested, something I'm so excited about that Lena and I have joined forces. Ooh, ah,
Yeah.
ah. It's actually not a frightening thing. It's a wonderful thing. But we have joined forces to offer a social media, a strategy, a management and implementation program for those of you who are online business managers who are playing a key role in your clients' businesses, right? This isn't about just implement, do, get it done. You know, this is a program where we are going to be working through the 9-step system that Lena has created and that we know works. It gets results. Right?
Yep.
And this is, of all the various things that are out there and so many different options and kinds of stuff we see floating around with social media, the fact that Lena gets results and, you know, has a system that works is the reason why I asked her to join me in delivering this program. So alongside the video here, you guys, if you go to obmacademy.com and or click the links here with the video, you will find out more information about that program. And of course, we're going to continue on the journey here in our next video where we will be tackling myth number 2. All right, guys, we'll see you there.